Hi, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me. I am Priya Kathpal, and I'm basically a consulting nutritionist practicing for the past 13 years. I see a lot of new mothers and young babies in my day to day practice for various reasons. Of course, new moms need a lot of nutrition support along with other support that they usually get. Uh, the thing usually what happens during the whole pregnancy is that everybody around takes a lot of care, takes a lot of effort to make sure that the new mom is comfortable, the pregnant lady is comfortable. But as soon as the baby is born, the whole focus starts going towards the baby, which is there's nothing wrong in it, but unfortunately even the mother herself starts focusing a lot on the baby but not taking good care of herself, which is extremely important because if she herself is not 100% healthy or is not feeling 100% about herself, taking care of the baby is not going to be as easy as it should be ideally. So health is important in a lot of health is important for a lot of reason, and for a new mom, of course, the lot of responsibility that comes all of a sudden with the young baby who needs the mother even in the nights. A lot of times breastfeeding takes a lot of energy, so it's very important that new mothers are taken care of and they take care of themselves as well. So a couple of questions I've already gotten from members who've maybe put in earlier. The first question that I have got is, I'm just going to read it out for you. We hear and know about craving during pregnancy. What does craving mean for a new mother? If a new mom is craving for sugar and sweets, what could that mean? Is that a sign of some mineral vitamin deficiency? And or it's just a matter of taste? Okay, so during pregnancy and after pregnancy, immediately after pregnancy, there is a lot of hormonal changes that happens inside the body. A lot of cravings is dependent on that because you are utilizing a lot of energy to give nourishment to the baby even when the baby is inside, and as soon as the baby is outside, the breastfeeding itself takes up a lot of energy. So a specific craving of sugar sometimes means that you're not getting enough energy. Now energy does not only come from sugar, of course, but from other things like complex carbohydrates or fibrous foods. So when I say fibrous foods, they basically release energy slowly inside the body. So when you eat foods that release slowly the energy, you are able to keep yourself full for a longer period of time and feel energetic for a longer period of time. So most of the cases, a new mother having the craving of sugars could be that she is low on energy, or she's not taking care of what she's eating. She's maybe eating in a hurry, or she's eating in breaks which are longer, not really falling apart in a right gap, etc. But in most cases it is not a mineral or a vitamin deficiency, especially postpartum or during pregnancy as well, because most of the times during pregnancy most women do take vitamin and mineral supplement. Even post pregnancy, your gynac or your doctor would recommend you to do that. And of course, most mothers are taken care of by their own mothers or mother-in-laws, and they will try and give you the food that is extremely healthy. But the timing sometimes, because you're feeding your baby or you're sleeping at an odd hour because your baby is sleeping at that time, the food routine can go haywire, and that could lead to a little bit of craving of sugar or craving of something that is sweet, but more or less would not be anything to do with any deficiency. I hope I was able to answer that question. Uh, the next question is, how to increase weight after normal delivery? I have become so lean. So I think it's a very personal question from a member who's maybe listening to us right now. So gaining weight at any stage in life will have similar kind of you will be following a similar kind of routine. Only difference would be because during the postpartum period, again, I would mention that you're breastfeeding. Most of the mothers are breastfeeding. They will utilize that energy, and maybe they are awake at odd hours. The stress of not sleeping at right time, not getting enough sleep, can also lead to weight loss. So Now, what could you do to gain the weight? Okay, of course, if possible, try and rest. I know for many it may sound like, oh, that's just not possible, but to new mothers, my very first advice is, please ask for help. Don't try to do everything on your own. It's important to get help, ask for help. I know new mothers and first time mothers are very enthusiastic and they want to do everything for their babies, and it's something that they enjoy. But in the longer run, it may take a toll on your health. Whether you are a lean person or not, it can take toll on an overall health. And of course, if you are leaner side, if you are at the leaner side, it will definitely be more of a negative repercussion. So try and get some help whenever possible. Do things with your baby that are most important, like of course breastfeeding is something that you would like to do, or any other kind of feeding, even formula feeding, you would want to bond with the baby. Maybe the massage part and giving bath you may want to do. But if you're moving around with your baby to put the baby to sleep, you can hand over to the father or even anyone else at home. So what I'm trying to say is, the first thing that you need to do even to gain weight is put down a little bit of work, delegate work, so that your body can get some rest, you can sleep on time, you can get some extra rest for the even mentally as well as physically. Second, I would say concentrate on high calorie food. Now, high calorie food does not always mean high oil or high fat oil. Something as simple as including dry fruits every day is very, very important. Simple things like including different kinds of seeds every day, like your sesame seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. All these are very rich in healthy oil, which means they will give you good quality oil in your body and help you gain weight. You can have milkshakes if you do consume dairy. You can consume, those homemade jaggery laddus, jaggery chickies. Make sure you are consuming every 3 hours, drinking enough water, and giving yourself rest. These are the things that will help you gain weight slowly and steadily. Also, activity or exercise for anyone is very important, whether you are at the leaner side, whether you are at a high weight side, or you think you are at a right weight. But after a couple of weeks or after a couple of months, once your body is back to a bit of strength and your gynac has given you a go ahead, get yourself into a routine. It could be as simple as 20 to 30 minutes yoga every day. It could be some home based exercises. It could be floor exercises. Or if you have enough support to go out and do some sort of gymming, even that will help. Physical activity increases the energy demand, which means you will feel hungry better, your body will stretch better, relax better. All these factors will be important to gain weight, or whether you're trying to just remain healthy. Okay. The next question is, hair fall is an issue some mothers face after childbirth. Is this related to nutrition or other changes? How can diet help? So the first reason for most mothers facing hair fall is hormonal change. During pregnancy, a lot of nourishment is kept inside the body for the baby. That's how many mothers feel the skin improvement, the hair improvement during pregnancy. They feel, oh, my skin is becoming so better, my hair is becoming so better. That's one of the plus of getting pregnant or conceiving. So, because there is a lot of nourishment getting saved up in the body, it shows on your skin and your hair. As soon as you give birth, that nourishment starts depleting. Now, not that you cannot save it up for a longer period of time, but pregnancy is in itself a stage which cannot be replicated unless you get pregnant again. So, that is one thing. After childbirth, again, like I said, most mothers tend to focus a lot on babies and forget themselves. Excuse me. Even others around tend to focus a lot on the baby because the demand from the baby is higher. So yes, a lot of nourishment negatives is seen towards the mother. If the nutrition keeps going as good as it was during the pregnancy, making sure you're eating a couple of fruits every day, making sure you're eating your salads every day, drinking lots of water, making sure you're sleeping well. I know all of this together will not be possible, but all of them are important. So you will have to put an effort to keep doing that. And as long as you're able to do that, you will see the improvement. Some amount of hair fall and some amount of changes during post pregnancy is inevitable. You will not be able to help that. But after a few weeks, after a few months, when things are falling in place, you will be able to take care of yourself a little better. And that's when the hair fall will get a little more controlled. You will see there is change. Also, of course, giving yourself a little bit of pampering, giving some oil massage more regularly will relax you, will give some nourishment to your hair, and of course, taking care of your nutrition as good during the pregnancy that you were doing will make sure your hair loss is controlled and even lesser after the few weeks. So I hope you are able to do that and control the hair fall. The other question is, what are the foods to improve immunity and strengthen skin after two cesarean section delivery? Okay, so yes, cesarean section is definitely a major surgery that a woman goes through if she has to deliver via operation. It does take a lot of energy from the body, it stresses your body, and it takes longer to heal as well, which means you have to take a little bit of extra care, and your body is prone to infection if you are not taking care of your immunity well. Having said that, the taking care part of immunity will remain same for most of us. Just that someone who's gone through two surgeries may have to take extra efforts. Most of the vitamin C rich foods are the most important for your immunity. So, say lemon juice, oranges, sweet limes, amla. Amla is a very, very, very potent fruit or food, I can say, that can build up your immunity a lot. Consuming fresh amla juice every day, or even consuming preserved amla, which is not very high on sugar and salt. It could be a jaggery preserved amla with low or moderate salt, can be consumed every day. Having said that, if you don't have any other illnesses, of course, this is something I'm saying for people who do not have any medical conditions like blood pressure or diabetes, etc. So these are the foods that can help improve your immunity. Protein rich foods like curds, dairy, keeping your gut healthy by consuming sprouts, regularly consuming lots of raw vegetables. Once your gut is healthy, immune system is much better. So remember, everything is connected. It's not something one there is no one magic pill or one magic food that is going to help you improve your immunity. It's a combination of a lot of things. So vitamin C rich foods, protein rich foods, these are two very important food groups that will make sure that your immunity is built up. Also, making sure when you get cold, cough, or fever, see, let it run its course. Unless it's very, very severe, don't try to curb it down with a lot of medicines, because the medicines can only take care of the symptom. Let your body fight it. Just like in children, when we let the body fight, the immunity builds. Even adults keep producing infection fighting cells. We have to give that chance. So unless it's a severe case of any disease or any problem, try to kind of take care of the symptoms with home remedies. Do not jump to medicines, or do not jump to taking of OTC medicines and curbing down the symptoms. That is also one of the ways to build immunity. So I hope I was able to answer your question. The next question right now that I can see is, uh, can you help me understand about veganism and if it is a healthy option? Okay. Well, yes, going vegan or going plant-based diet is definitely very healthy, but one needs to make sure the diet is well planned, because vegan foods or plant-based foods are naturally not extremely high on in protein and calcium and these kind of things that we actually get from animal products like dairy or milk or cheese, etc. Not that plant food will not give you, but you will have to make an extra effort to include that in your diet and be consistent. Like, for an example, someone who will not consume dairy or animal milk will have to replace it with a plant based milk like almond milk or soy milk or something similar. Now, you may say that maybe milk is not important. at all. Animal milk is not a mandate. Even a plant-based milk is not important per se or mandate per se. But consumption of a fistful of almond or two fistful of almonds is not something that is feasible every day for anyone. So if it is converted into almond milk or almond paste, that gives you a more concentrated way of consuming these items and getting your daily dose of protein, calcium, healthy fats, etc. So veganism in itself is extremely healthy if someone wants to follow. There is no problem. But before starting any dietary lifestyle or changing any dietary lifestyle, one needs to make sure there is no deficiency. If you are already deficient, you may not want to switch on to a very strict path of diet. Like veganism is a strict lifestyle. You cannot consume dairy, you cannot consume any kind of animal product. And even in vegans, there are raw vegans, and those who cook and eat. So if you are already deficient, you would want to first correct that. And when you have corrected that, then you need to make sure you know exactly what kind of foods will provide you with what kind of nutrients. Like I said, almonds will be able to give you proteins and fats. So you may have to increase certain foods that you don't right now consume daily. But in the veganism lifestyle, you will have to do that. You will have to make sure you're using ragi a lot to get your calcium. You'll have to make sure you're using a lot of seeds, like I mentioned earlier, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds. So basically, your grocery or your kitchen will look a lot different from today if you choose to change your lifestyle. So if you are prepared with your knowledge, you are definitely sure that you know you've taken help from an expert, there is nothing wrong in starting veganism, and it's absolutely healthy. Um, so somebody has said, I'm a full-time mom of two young children. I eat home-cooked and unprocessed food. Else can I do to maintain nutrient balance and energy levels through the day? So Meghna, hi Meghna. I'm really glad to know that you are eating home-cooked and unprocessed food. Now, home-cooked meals are very good hygienically as well as nutritionally. But again, I would say they need to be of the right combination. Like for an example, a general home, any home in Indian scenario would consume, say, a roti, bhaji, dal, rice, okay, or maybe just roti, bhaji, or a dal. What do we get to see in these kind of meals is they are mostly carbohydrate rich. You have to make sure you're also consuming some amount of protein, some amount of fiber. Where do you get these? So suppose you are consuming a roti, bhaji, and a dal. Maybe adding a bowl of curds will give you probiotics, some extra amount of proteins, will also take care of your gut and keep you a little more lighter on your stomach, because curd is supposed to be extremely light on stomach. So these kind of combinations, along with your home cooked and unprocessed meal, wherein you are making sure all your meals have most of the food groups, is most important. Along with consuming unprocessed, not consuming unprocessed, consuming unprocessed foods and home cooked meals, you should make sure you're consuming a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables that are seasonal, which are available in the local market. At least two types of fruits in a week, 2 to 3 types of fruits in a week, that you can, have a variety. Raw vegetables of various kinds, and consuming sprouts on a regular basis. These are the items that you should make sure you're including. I also suggest a lot of millets in my clients' diets, because millets are traditionally included in Indian diets. They are grown around us, and they are more seasonal and local. So whatever is local to your particular location, try and include that. Why do I emphasize the local part or the seasonal part? Because the amount of nutrition they have is higher compared to something that is not local to you or something that's not very seasonal to you. Having said that, this does not in any way mean that you cannot consume a kiwi just because it is not grown around you. Most definitely, you should consume a kiwi or any other fruit or any other vegetable or cereal or pulse. But a major part of your diet should look and feel which is around you. It's grown around you. It's a seasonal variety, and it's something that is freshly available for you. That will make sure your nourishment is always well taken care of. Of course, hydration is something that you should not be missing out on too. So enough fluids, enough water is also very, very important part of a healthy diet. um, Next question is from Misha. Hi, Priya. Thank you for doing this session. Thank you, Misha. I'm not big on consuming milk and other dairy. What is your suggestion to meet nutrients present in dairy products? Okay, we just spoke about vegan food, and dairy is something that is not consumed in the veganism lifestyle as well. So, dairy is actually very high in protein and calcium and vitamin A. These are certain nutrients that they give you. B12 as well, but most of the B12 in dairy is lost because we tend to warm milk or boil milk. We do that. So now that we know what it contains, we need to replace from the same kind of foods. So dairy is something that you don't want to consume. So what is it that can give you enough proteins? If you are a non-vegetarian person, you can consume eggs for proteins. For calcium, you could consume ragi. You can consume nuts for healthy fats, which also comes from milk and comes. It can also give you proteins. The almonds, the walnuts, the seeds, various kind of seeds. So these are the items. If you consume on a regular basis, you will really not have a need to consume dairy. Having said that, I'll still prefer people who are not on a strict vegan diet to consume some amount of curds on a regular basis, because curds is something which is high on probiotics, and in summers especially, which is approaching now, it keeps you very well hydrated, and is something that can be converted into various styles. You can use it in a meal like a curd rice. You can have a lassi or a chas or a buttermilk, and you can also have it like a side dip along with your other food items. So it's also a little versatile. If you are not too strict on your no dairy and can consume curd, I would say please do so. If not, then you will have to take care of your probiotics, maybe either from other fermented foods like kimchi, or you will have to take care it from the supplementation part of it. But of course, milk is not something that is absolutely mandatory. There are n number of foods that can take care of your dairy replacement, your proteins as well as your calcium. I hope I was able to answer your question, Misha. Next question is from Rashmi. Does stress in young mothers affect the way they eat and take care of their health? If so, what would be your suggestion for them? Most definitely. Stress is something that affects everyone, whether a pregnant or a non-pregnant, or young people or young mothers, everyone. It will affect everyone at a very different level, because everybody is in a different scenario when they are stressed. A young mother, when she's stressed, it will affect a lot of things: how she takes care of the child, how she takes care of herself, how she reacts to certain foods. Some people tend to overeat when they are stressed. Some people shun the food because they just don't feel hungry because they are stressed. So everybody will have a very different reaction to how the stress makes their body. But unfortunately, stress is something that will have a very negative effect on overall health as well. Whether you overeat or you undereat, or whether you eat okay even during the stress, but your brains don't work in a similar fashion or a healthy fashion, and similarly the signals that the brain gives to your body is not in a very healthy fashion, which means it is definitely going to affect you negatively. My suggestion to people who are going through stress or feel stressed easily would be to definitely start a 5 to 10 minute meditation every morning and every night before they go to sleep. Meditation is not extremely difficult. Some people think it's not for me. I don't think I'll be able to sit still for a long period of time. And I don't think I can close my eyes and think of nothing. My brain keeps going here and there. Yes, it may sound very difficult, but these days with technology, it's become a little more easier as well. There are various apps and sound music, yoga, kind of, what do you say, step by step yoga apps available, wherein you can just put in the timer and kind of meditate only for few minutes. You don't need to do a 30-minute, 20-minute, or a 10-minute. As short as 3 to 5 minutes meditation can really relieve you a lot from your stress, can declutter your brain, can help you think more clearly, and can help you give more better perspective and balance your body. Basically, it will give you the center that you're missing out on. What you can do is just breathe in and breathe out, deep breaths that we call, and maybe count numbers in your head. You can sing a song in your head. You can even just focus on a one particular thing. You would want to focus on your child, his smile, etc. It need not be trying to empty your head totally. You can just try to focus on one thing that makes you smile, that makes you happy, and that can center you. Doing these little things can really help you de-stress. What are the other ways of de-stressing? Not just meditation. Picking up a hobby, reading a book, listening to music that you like, going for a 10-minute walk, anything that can detach you from the situation that has stressed you for a while can de-stress you much more easily. And once you have detached yourself from that situation for a few minutes, you'll see that you're able to think more clearly and react better to that situation. Even sometimes for mothers, it is, overwhelming that the baby is crying so much and the mother has tried everything, but she doesn't know what to do. Try and be away from the baby for few minutes. It may sound cruel, but it's very important for a mother to do that, because a stressed mother can be more harmful to the baby. She can maybe, just, feel that, oh, I'm so helpless, I can't do anything, and she's going to be harmful to herself. A de-stressed or a much more centered mother will be able to take care of things much easily. So just giving that 60 seconds or 120 seconds to yourself and detaching yourself from that situation, deep breathing or counting till 10, and just moving away is going to help you. So various ways of de-stressing. Some of them, like I mentioned, some of them could just be what you want to do. It could be anything. Some people do de-stress by just watching some TV or giving themselves few minutes. So it may not necessarily be from this list that I have mentioned. You can figure out something that works for you. But doing that every day few minutes will definitely help you. Okay. um, Thank you for your response. I've been experiencing low levels of vitamin D for the last 2 years, even though I go out in the sun. Can I combat this with nutrition? Misha has again asked this question. Yes, Misha. So we definitely can combat with nutrition, but if the levels are extremely low, you will have to take care of the nutrition through a supplemental form, not always through the dietary form. Now, if the levels are borderline, and if the levels are not too low, then diet and the intervention of diet could do definitely help you. But if the levels have gone to to an extreme where they need to perk up immediately so that your health is not going into a negative state, then a supplement is helpful. A lot of fish eating people, I suggest that you should eat fish, because vitamin D is something that is also available in oily fishes. So if you do consume fish, maybe upping the amount of fish or the frequency of fish is going to help you. And a lot of non-dairy or consuming people do see a lack of vitamin D as well. Having said that, no need to consume dairy if you don't, but I would say replace it with the vegan milk that I was talking about, the almond milk or a soy milk. Even that will help some amount of vitamin D, calcium, etc. And making sure you check it regularly, because you do have a history, that there is, so that you can combat it much before you go to the levels that are much lower, will give you a better control on your health, a better control on your body. Because sometimes we check it very late and they've gone down to a very low level, and then the intervention is much more extreme, and we don't want to do that. We would like to keep a check on a regular basis, so that we know when they are just borderline low, or they are at a level like, most women should have hemoglobin by 12. If it is 11, there is no need for any medication. We can just up the diet better and it can get okay. But we don't want to check it when it is 9, 8, when we are feeling the fatigue, when we are feeling the breathlessness, etc. So it's very important for everyone, especially working mothers, and especially mothers to young babies who are more stressed because of the schedules, especially mothers who have more than one child because they have much more responsibilities. all these people are at a much higher risk of getting at a lower side of their nutrition. So checking it regularly is one of the ways to get it on track. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to take care of the control much better. So Nisha, yes, diet can help you depending upon what your levels are. And if your levels are not too low, diet can help you get it up much more easily. If they are a bit on a lower side, supplement and a diet, like natural diet. Supplement also is a part of diet. Just that supplement is a form of a synthetic form of a nutrition, or a synthetic form of a nutrient that we are giving to the body. But at some times we really need that, and later on we can definitely take care of it from the natural foods. Okay. So I think that is the end of the questions. If there are any more, I'll be waiting for a few minutes. If not, you can maybe put it across even at parent circle email IDs, and we can maybe check it out how we can answer it to you in the later stage, or maybe some future sessions. Thank you so much for all your lovely questions. It was wonderful being here and answering all these questions. And it's nice to see that mothers are taking care of themselves. This is one step that you've taken by asking questions